ونشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. نريد الشريف together. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. صدق الله العظيم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Are we having a good Eid? If we are in the masjid, it is good. If we are doing the ibadah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then it is good. And the day of Jumu'ah and having the day of Eid all together is again another blessing from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, where we all get to see each other more than once, and if we can keep the volume down, please, upstairs. Please, if you don't mind. It's a blessing from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that we again have an opportunity to sit and ponder upon what has just happened over the last month. The month of Ramadan is a beautiful time in where we strengthen our bond with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so much so that it becomes so natural and so normal, everything that we are doing. Our fasting, our Taraweeh prayer, our ibadah, our Quran recitation, we are all probably in a very good routine where we had everything all kind of sorted out. Maybe in the first few days, everybody was trying to put everything into order, where to fit in the sleep and where to fit in the ibadah and how to do everything. But as I mentioned during the Eid talk, everything is a way for us to be rewarded by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The reason why Allah has gifted us with the month of Ramadan is so that we can do such deeds which will please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and a way to gain the pleasure of Allah. When a person gains the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he has gained everything, and there is nothing more which he really needs. And this is why we have to be grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for the opportunity that was given to us during this month. And again, like was mentioned, that it is a platform for us to now move forward, not to now become weak in our ibadah, but to try and improve. And things will be difficult because Shaitan is now back out and he has been unchained, and the nafs will want what the nafs will want. But this is the whole thing that we were doing during the month of Ramadan, which is training ourselves, training our minds, our bodies to go against the things that they actually want. And the fact that we were able to work so hard on ourselves, this is a blessing from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah is showing us what we are capable of doing with our own bodies, what we are capable of doing with everything that He has given us. So, the next thing is to have an action plan, to know what is my next 6 months or my next 1 year, what do I want it to look like? When a person has a business or a job, they have aims and targets and objectives that by the next 6 months I would like to make this much profit, or these are the sales that I want to hit, and by 1 year I would like it to be in such a way. So why is it that we are able to plan our dunya way ahead in advance, but when it comes to deen, is whenever I feel like it, I'll do it, which isn't the way it should be. If anything, it should be the opposite, because وَالْآخِرَةُ خَيْرٌ وَأَبْقَى, the akhirah is better and everlasting, and this is where all the effort should be made. But of course, insan is weak and insan has difficulties and troubles, but of course we will try the best that we can do and help out one another and do whatever we possibly can in order to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So all of these good deeds that we had, all of these good habits that we started, this is a way for us to now try and bring istiqamat into our life. That how can I become more steadfast in my salah? How can I become more steadfast with my recitation of the Quran, with my dhikr, with my behavior towards others? Sometimes we forget about this one as well. That is such an important ibadah. The way we deal with others, the way we speak with others, the way we deal with customers, with our neighbors, everybody that we deal with on a daily basis, it should be with the mannerisms of Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. We forget that Islam was spread a lot by the akhlaq of the sahib, that their akhlaq was the best, that even when it came to business, they would deal in such a way, but even if a little bit more was given to them, they would go back and they would speak and they would say that, I was given a bit extra, here, take this back. So this is what we are trying to aim to do. It's not a competition of who can read the most nawafil prayer throughout the whole year, or who can keep the most fasts, or who can give the most sadaqah. These are not the things that we should be aiming to do. The aim is never quantity. It is never quantity, but the quality which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is looking for. And Allah wants to see how much we are able to do, and that can only be done when we make the intention from now and we have an idea and a plan of what we would like to do. So this next 6 months ahead, like I mentioned at Fajr time today, that the Sahaba min after the month of Ramadan would finish, for the next 6 months they would be making dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for accepting the ibadah which was done during the month of Ramadan. And I have a theory or a reason why it could possibly have been. Allah forgive me if it is not. But I thought that maybe the reason why that they would continue to ask is so that they could remember the heights that they could reach during the month of Ramadan. That we were able to do this much during the month of Ramadan, so that it would help them to try and get to that stage again. That we all think about how much we are able to do during the month of Ramadan. The fact that so many of you, mashallah, were probably surviving on 4 or 5 hours sleep every day because of work and just everything. So that's what you can do. And why did you do it? To please Allah. No other reason. Nobody said, get up and do it. Nobody forced you, nobody pushed you. You all have your own free will. You all have your own mind, what you want to do. It's very easily, a lot of people could have stayed at home and read at home. But the effort was made by everybody just to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this is the same mindset that we need to try and have throughout the rest of the year as well. That we push ourselves and we keep that bond and that connection of the masjid. The masjid is open more, it's not open just on Jumas and during Ramadan. Every day, 5 times a day, the masjid is here. And it is a place for the community to get together, to be here for one another, to support one another, but more importantly, for the peace of your own heart, the peace of your own mind. The sukoon that you feel within the masjid, you will not feel anywhere else. And there's a reason for it. It's because Allah has created it to be like that. If Allah wanted, it could have been somewhere else, but no, Allah wants it to be here. So, all of the other places where a person goes for some kind of enjoyment or to fulfill a hobby or to go and watch something. So for example, somebody wants to go watch a football match or he wants to go see something. Every single one of those places, you have to pay to get in there. And there's nobody here at the front door asking for any money that come in and pay the ticket to come into the masjid. You can all come in free of charge to Allah's house. And you never leave here empty-handed. When you go to the football stadium, your team might lose and it'll be a sad day after that. But when you come to the masjid, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, whatever intention you come with, whatever you are hoping to seek from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala when you come to the masjid, there's a guarantee that you will leave with that. Because like I mentioned to you so many times before, when a person makes dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, 3 things happen. Either one, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will accept that dua right there on the spot. Secondly, if it doesn't get accepted on the spot, Allah will take a difficulty away from him. Something difficult, something that was going to happen within his life, it will be taken away. And thirdly, it's not giving in the dunya, but in the akhirah. Allah will give him the return for whatever it was. If everybody can just move and sit nice and close, there's a lot of space between everybody. All move towards this side if you can, so there's space for everybody who is coming in. You can sit nice and close. I'm sure everybody's wearing nice perfume today as well, so nothing to worry about there. So there's space over here on that side as well, all the way across. Yes. If there's space next to you, put your hand up. So the plan is that within these next 6 months, let's not even go that far. We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. Within the next week, all of the habits that we had during the month of Ramadan, we will try and keep them going. That coming to the masjid, recitation of the Quran, doing dhikr. Those that want to keep the fast of Shawwal, they can keep the fast of Shawwal. The reward is that if a person is to keep those 6 fasts, then they get the reward as if they have kept fasting for the whole year. So, and even those, while we're on the topic, they don't have to be kept consistently one after the other. It can be spread out throughout the month as well. But the quicker you get it done, the better. Otherwise, shaitan will be like, oh, hi, remember me. So, the quicker we get it done, the better. So because we are already in the habit right now, best to just do it right now. So that is the gist of what we want to try and be doing over the next week. So to stay in those habits. And the way for a person to know whether their ibadah has been accepted is if Allah gives them the tawfiq to continue to do those acts. So everything that we did during the month of Ramadan, if we are able to continue to do it at a good rate after the month of Ramadan, it means that our Ramadan was accepted. And it means that we will then get a lot of, there should be a kind of a fire within us right now that we want to do more. That's not enough. That we want to do more and more and more. And this is where we have to make sure that we are doing everything possible in order to continue the goodness which we have felt during that month. Secondly is the day of Eid. Some of you are not here when I was doing the Eid khutbah, so I'll mention those things again about the day of Eid. The day of Eid is a celebration for us. It is a day of celebration for us and a way for us to celebrate the hard work that we did during the month of Ramadan. It is a day in which all the families get together and everybody has a good time. Of course, there is a way it should be done, and that way, of course, is making sure that we are doing everything Islamically and not doing anything which is going to bring the displeasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But the important thing is that because it is the day of Eid, it is a day of celebration, we try our best to have a good time with our family, because it is a day of the families getting together. So what I mentioned in the khutbah before was that we should try and have a day of non-devices, no devices, no on the phone, no TV, no tablets, nothing. Let's go back to the 1990s, not even that far back, even the 2000s. So if we are able to do that, we'll enjoy our Eid much better, because nobody is then glued to a screen. And I mentioned that parents need to play with their children and be happy with their children and speak to their children and actually have a conversation and find out who this person is that is living in your home. Because a lot of the times what happens is parents are so busy in work and children are so busy with education that they never really get to meet each other, even though they live in the same house. So today we spend it in a day of speaking to each other and enjoying each other's company. Enjoying each other's company in a way where it will strengthen the bond of the families. Because granddads are going to be there, grands are going to be there, and it's going to go all the way to the grandchildren. Everybody together is going to be mixing. And we're currently at a stage where grandparents, those that are from back home and are a bit weak with their English, they can no longer conversate with the grandchildren because there's a big language barrier. So all of these things, we need to try our best to make sure that something is there, that we as parents and as elders have a responsibility upon us, that we try our best to create an atmosphere within the house, within the families, where people can enjoy themselves. So another example I gave was, alhamdulillah, we have a nice weather today. Go in the back garden and chase each other, knock each other out, wrestle with each other, have fun together. That is what, our deen doesn't say that all you should be doing is ibadah and reading and that's it and nothing else. So go out and enjoy yourselves and do it in a halal way. There should be no music involved. Music does not need to be there to enjoy yourself. We have nasheeds where you can listen to every single nasheed that is there about Eid, and yes, enjoy that. Why should we throw away all of the ibadah which we have done during this month just for a few moments of shaitan getting happy? So don't waste your time doing things that there's no need for and which is going to bring the displeasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Instead, think that I have spent my month doing a lot of good and I want to continue those good deeds. But we have leeway today, that enjoy yourself. So enjoy yourself with your family, eat a good amount, not so much that it reaches to your throat and then you fall down and you're not getting up again. So pace yourself as well, that's another thing. You can eat, but pace yourself. Take it easy, eat, then drink some water, and then be back for Asr and Maghrib and Isha and all of these things. So whatever we were doing yesterday, we continue to do those things as well. That maybe what could be a good idea is get all the family together. Everybody, okay, the only time devices are allowed is when they're opening up the Quran app on the phone. So everybody sits together and you open up the Quran and read the Quran 5 minutes. Not even 10 or 15 minutes or half an hour, 5 minutes. That during our time of celebration, we are also remembering Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this is the small things that we can do. Just because it's a day of Eid doesn't mean that we forget everything. Enjoy yourself with the family, enjoy the food, and remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that we have is the one who has given us this day of celebration. He is the one who has put the food in front of in our plates, and is the one who is continuing to going to give us again and again and again. So be grateful for everything that we have. We were able to spend the month of Ramadan. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to accept all of the ibadah that we did during the month of Ramadan. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala multiply it by hundreds and thousands and millions of good deeds. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to forgive any shortcomings. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to change those shortcomings into good deeds. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to put barakah in all of everybody's families. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make it easy for us. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant us more and more Ramadans. And those that have passed away, those that have left us in the past year and all the years before, we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to forgive them and grant them Jannatul Firdaus. Ameen wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen.